There are times when progress can actually be a bad thing. And the reason for that is we want to be careful that we don't focus too much on getting better at playing if we are in fact playing the wrong game. A game that's not a fit for us. A game that maybe was never a fit for us, or maybe was at a certain point in our life, but it's not anymore. And ultimately our possibilities of actually doing well in this game over the medium to long term aren't there because it's not our game. Maybe it's a game somebody else gave us. Maybe it's something we've just inherited. It's a set of circumstances we find ourselves in. And sometimes it can be time for radical change. And radical change is where rather than just change the day-to-day of what you do, or rather than just changing how you do what you do, radical change is where you change the game itself. You stop, you look at the options, and you move on to a different track and play a different game. Now, it's not a given that you should do this, but it's also not a given that you shouldn't. We might end up playing a sport, for example, to use the game analogy, that is just a sport that somebody we know played. And that's fine. If that works for us, if when we reflect on our values it meets our needs, then absolutely, so be it. That's great. And it may be the case, to be fair, that there are a few options. There are a few games that might meet our needs. So if that's the case, then yeah, we might as well maybe go with the one we know, and that's fine. That's going to work. However, there are times when our needs clearly are not being met. The game we're playing is misaligned with our values. And some of the hints there is that working on trying to improve how you play that game is challenging, and it's difficult because it's not your game. Whether you're a rugby player, whether you play football, whether you are a gymnast, whether you like to play pool or snooker, these are just different games. And it's not that there's necessarily a right or a wrong game to play. Maybe you play video games. Maybe you do physical athletic activity. Maybe you like to play board games. They're just different games. So what's your game? What game is right for you? What is it that you could be engaging your attention in that it is actually worth improving your skill at because it's your game? It's sustainable. It's a game that's aligned with your values and can actually bring you somewhere rather than feeling that you're pushing too hard, maybe in a direction which isn't fully aligned with who you really are and what you're really about.